How do you know if your company is doing well? That's one question that SaaS startups always have. Hey everyone, if you're new here, then I'm Rig, and in this channel we discuss tips, tricks and strategies that help SaaS startups go from 0 to 1 million ARR in 12 months or less. And in today's video, we are discussing KPIs, specifically the difference between lagging indicators and leading indicators. So what should be your metric of success? And even more importantly, are metrics like MRR and ARR and even variations of them like new MRR, expansion MRR, churned MRR, or even net new MRR enough? Are unit economic metrics, that is, metrics that tell you if your method of generating revenue is financially viable or not, metrics like ACV, CAC, LTV, are they sufficient? And based on the context of the market segment you serve and when you started your company, is there a way to evaluate how you are doing? Let's break this down first. To understand these metrics, you have to first understand the difference between your leading indicators and your lagging indicators. Because the best way to think about your metrics is to combine insights from your forward-looking KPIs and your backward-looking KPIs. That is, leading indicators that look forward to future outcomes and events, and lagging indicators that look back at whether the intended goal was achieved or not. Imagine your business is a car. Leading indicators look forward through the windshield at the road that lies ahead. Lagging indicators, on the other hand, look backwards through the rear window at the road you have already traveled. A financial indicator like revenue, for example, is a lagging indicator because it tells you about what has already happened. Strictly speaking, your last year's revenue does not predict the future revenue of the company, although many SaaS startups have used this metric just to do that. But an indicator like customer satisfaction does point to future revenue because satisfied customers are more likely to continue using your product. Customer satisfaction therefore becomes a leading indicator. Now your high-level metrics of revenue, that is your ARRs and MRRs and variations of it, and your unit economic metrics, CAC, LTV, ACV, etc., both of them are lagging indicators. That is, both of them can only be looked at in hindsight. Let's say that you know that your CAC to LTV ratio isn't that healthy. That is, you are paying more to acquire customers than the customer pays you over the course of their lifetime. But then what? The metric isn't telling you anything about what you should do to fix that problem. And that's like saying my car is on the wrong road. Okay, but then what do you do about it? You're already there. You have to think about what to do now. And all these metrics have the same problem, whether it's CAC, LTV, MRR, ARR. All of these can tell you what's wrong inside of your company, but they don't tell you what needs to change. Moreover, because these metrics can only be evaluated in hindsight over a considerable period of time, they don't tell us how our company is performing on a day-to-day basis. And very often, setting these lagging indicators as your KPIs incentivize teams for negative behavior. And very often they are very arbitrary. To solve for this, David McClure came up with pirate metrics, or the R method. This is a way to categorize and group together your KPIs depending on what aspect of the business you want to measure. And the groupings are awareness, acquisition, activation, revenue, retention and referral, or as a pirate would say, R. Later, Thomas Petit shifted the focus from the R method to the RAR method, moving the focus to retention, and the RAR method is about retention, activation, referral, revenue, and acquisition. Now, both these metrics are steps taken to address the problem of understanding where things are going wrong inside of your company. They became a standard in the industry and are still used till date. But does pirate metric actually solve the problem and lead you to that buried treasure? Let's see. Let's say you run a SaaS marketing agency and someone comes across your blog from Google. At this point, the person has been acquired in the sense that your company has acquired their awareness. A week later, let's say the person again stumbles upon some blog from your company on Google. The person reads it, finds it valuable, and decides to subscribe to your newsletter. At this point, the person has been activated and retained. They've had several positive experiences with your website and have taken the action to stay up to date with content you publish in the future. Over the course of the next few months, as they read your company's articles and blogs, let's say they decide to share it with their colleagues, moving them to the referral stage. And finally, once they have the need to enlist an agency on board, They reach out to you because they value your expertise and authority, moving them to the revenue stage. While this might look simple and straightforward on the surface, it's never so in real life. If yours is a B2C invoicing solution, when will you call somebody acquired, or when will you say that somebody has moved to acquisition? When they sign up for a free trial or when they move to your basic plan. Similarly, if you sell to enterprises and your sales cycle is 6 months long, your acquisition cannot just be one step, especially when this process is so complex where you're trying to consider the needs of all the different stakeholders involved. My point is that these stages look different for every SaaS company. Plus, how you define somebody as activated, acquired, referred, etc. will vary from one company to another. Hopefully, it's clear by now that relying on general frameworks to evaluate the growth of your SaaS company is not enough. Without understanding the context or understanding how these metrics apply inside of your customer journey, you're just guessing where opportunities exist. So you need to build a custom journey map by talking to your customers, understanding what's important to them, and using that as your KPIs or mile markers. These are your leading indicators, and these are the KPIs that you need to track. For an example, let's say that you allow perishable food store owners manage their inventory throughout the procurement cycle. So if fruits and vegetables aren't fully ripe, it can be moved to the back storage. And if they have become too macerated or squishy, then those fruits and vegetables can be sold out first or given for retail. Let's say from customer research, you know that accuracy and reliability is the most important thing for your prospects when they are looking out for a solution like this. You can then see which features inside of your product closely aligns to reliability and accuracy. And let's say that's data collection and timely notifications against the data. From this knowledge, you can design an experience that allows prospects use this feature and quickly see long-term value in your solution. And based on how many store owners successfully experience this, you can almost predict how many of them will then become paid users of your product. So product activation moment, which is data exploration and notifications, become leading indicators of success for your analytics solution. From Tesla to Airtable, all the big successful companies of the world today are doing this. That is, talking to customers, understanding what is important to them, and using that to measure success. But for some reason, very few SaaS companies seem to care. In a research done by Profitwell with 3,000 SaaS businesses, it was found that these SaaS companies talk to fewer than 10 customers per month, and this number got worse as companies grew bigger in size. And the reason maybe is not that we don't want to talk to customers, but maybe we don't understand how to do that correctly or operationalize the insights that we have gathered to derive leading indicators like new unique visits, product activation, full value realization, etc.